Hello and welcome back to the When You're podcast, the podcast for when you're doing anything. Today we're talking about when you're Halloween decorating. So, a very big and important part of the whole October feeling. Halloween is that one thing where it's like you either enjoy it early or you don't really, you wait until the last minute and then it's kind of like just one big cleanup, right? Because like if you decorate for Halloween on the day of, it just becomes like a whole mess, and then the next day you have to kind of like try to take it down, and it becomes this whole big hassle for no reason. Whereas if you get started early, like as soon as October hits, maybe even late September, you know what I'm saying? As soon as it's technically fall, you can do whatever you want. You can set up the Halloween decorations. But I'm just talking about like, how do you really figure out like, okay, this is what obviously there's the generic, the pumpkins, there's the ghost, right? Like there are multiple themes. There's certain like base level. There's like a base level of Halloween, and then there's like the next level. So I just kind of want to talk about Halloween decorating because Halloween decorating is a very big part of it. And I like Halloween decorating. I think it's cool to like pick out the certain stuff. I just like the way I feel about it is you have to maybe unify it into one central theme. Not theme. Not that you can't like go all over the place with it. You definitely can, but like when you go all over the place with it, it sort of feels like it just when it goes all over the place, it doesn't really feel as like concentrated, if that makes sense. Like sometimes they'll do certain haunted houses and it'll be like zombies. So that one's specifically for zombies. If you want zombies, you go in there, as opposed to maybe going into a haunted house and there's a zombie here, there's Freddy Krueger over there, there's the Scream Mask over here. You know what I mean? It's a lot less it feels a lot less commercial, it feels like. Whereas if you stick to one thing, it feels like, okay, they really focused on this one style or this one decoration. They stuck to this one theme and they nailed it. Like they did it really well. So I don't know, that's just kind of my feeling on it. And that way you can do that one thing to the best, as opposed to like dipping your toe into like all of these other things and it doesn't come out as well. But you're also kind of sometimes limited by what you have available at the store. So we're going to talk about all that. So like I said, there's multiple scary themes. So the first one that comes to mind is ghosts. Ghosts. So typically that means like white sheet, eye cutouts where they do like the little oval on there, right? So if you're doing like a ghost theme, you can do like, you can hang like little ghosts on the front of your house or like on a tree somewhere, or you can they have like those boo, like maybe like a big inflatable like with the words boo on it. So it'll be like a light up inflatable. So the lights will be inside of it, and then you plug it in, and then it puffs up and it spells boo. It's BOO exclamation point, right? Like that's part of it. And then obviously you have like maybe a big blow up ghost, and you're just like, oh snap, that's sick. Like that's really, really cool. You know what I mean? And that way it's kind of like a spectacle in a way. You can have like kind of like ooh, oh, kind of like background noise from like a speaker or whatnot. It's a good idea is you could do shadows, because then it feels like a real ghost. So you could get like a white sheet, right? Put it at the front of your house, like right in front of the candy. And then you can like mimic, you could put like a light behind you, and you can kind of, I don't know, mimic the action of like saying hi to the kids or whatever, or to the people coming to pick up candy. Like that's a good idea to use for ghosts. Like that's a ghost theme, and I think that's a brilliant way to kind of center it on that one aspect. Another one, I mean, I talked about it already, is zombies. Zombies always works because you don't have to be a sleuth to figure out zombies. You just go, and then you pass out candy, right? Like you wear like a mask or whatever, and you go, and you give them candy. You know, no need for like small talk or whatever. It'd be like, here you go, kids. You could just, you know what I mean? And that works. That works. And it particularly works because there's no need to like put effort into it. Whereas I just explained with the ghost one, there's a time. I mean, there's effort put into it, but it's just so that way it feels more ghostly. Whereas the zombies, it's just whatever. It's just, I want your brains, and I don't care about anything else, and I don't care if my leg's chopped off. I'm still gonna walk. You know, that kind of feeling. But you know, it's also has to do with like if you wear a costume with it. You could also do, what else is there? Skeletons. So you could leave like, you could have like a graveyard. You can put like skeletons up. They have like a, you know, what would be really cool is if they did like a big, I mean, obviously they have like a huge human skeleton, but I'm thinking of like a dog skeleton. You know what I mean? Like a huge dog skeleton. You know what I'm talking about? That's the kind of, that's a great idea. If you have like a big dog skeleton in the front of your house, like on your front lawn, and people can come over and see that, like that's cool. But you know, let's say you live in an apartment, right? Not everybody lives in a house. So if you live in an apartment, right? I mean, I doubt people are going to come over to your apartment complex and like ask for candy. Is that a thing? I imagine that must be a little uncomfortable. But at the same time, if their kids are living in the building, I don't know. I guess, don't they want a Halloween experience too? And who better to ask for candy than your neighbors? Your next door neighbors or people in the building? I think it would work in the sense of like, they go to like people that you know. You know what I mean? You don't go downstairs to, let's say you live on the 6th floor. You don't go down to the 3rd floor and, you know, talk to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, who you have no idea that you exist. You know what I mean? Whereas like maybe your landlord or your neighbor or other stuff. But for the most part, it feels like the kids just go out to like random neighborhoods or I'm thinking about New York. Like, how do they do it in New York? New York is crazy during Halloween, but how do you know what places to go to? It's not very, because I've only had Halloween in the suburbs. I've never had it in a big urban city like New York. So you can, you know, it's a little bit tricky. I guess it's really tricky. Imagine, but it gets me thinking about, it must be really wild. It must be really crazy. But you just don't know, and it's a little too wild for New York City. But that's why I feel like if you live in an apartment in if you live in an apartment in like a suburban area, like in a little like domestic city or whatever, then it's kind of like okay, like oh, cool. But if you live in the city, I guess I don't really know what you do, but let's just say you go down to each of your apartment floors, right? And you decorate it with like a floor mat. Maybe you have like a picture of a zombie or a skeleton in the front of your house. I mean, in front of your door, like stuff like that. That's cool. You know, lights and whatnot. Just make it your door. You know what I mean? Make it your Halloween door. And then decorate on the inside and people can come in and out as they please, I guess. I don't know. But it has me thinking, like, New York City is wild, but I don't really see people passing out candy all that much. And even if they did, I'm sure they would try to sell it. So, yeah, I don't know. What about a barn Halloween? Like, what do people in the rural, you know, because we talked about, like, the big city. What about, like, a small country farm town? How do they do it? It'd be like a barn Halloween. That must be cool. and invite some of your friends from school to the barn, and you guys just have like a rowdy, have like a big howdy Halloween. That would be cool. That's actually my new favorite idea. A howdy Halloween. And you just listen to country music. Or you do like country Halloween music. Is that even a thing? I guess it'd just be like country music, but not in like a major key and like a minor key or whatever. Just to make it like a little spooky, I guess. That would be fun. You could bob for apples or corn. You could sit on hay barrels and dress up the other farm animals. You could do all kinds of things. But where was I? Oh yeah, decorations. How would you decorate a big barn like that? Like a small apartment, that's pretty easy. You put up a couple of pictures, some lights, a little prop here and there. A big barn takes a lot of effort. So I would imagine you would have to hang up some lights all the way across it. You would definitely try to make it like dark in there. I don't know, dude. It's so cool. Definitely going to come back to that someday in the future. Howdy Halloween. I think that's a brilliant idea. If somebody's already taken it, I'm pretty sure it's already been taken. But they don't have the vision like I have the vision. You know what I mean? Nobody does. So anyways, vampires. So if you do like a vampire decoration, you'd have to do the whole Transylvania accent, like I want to suck your blood. Like you'd have to do the whole thing. You have to do the whole spiel. You have to get some fake blood, which is like you never know who's like really scared by that or is like people have like a fear of it. Like if they see blood, they just pass out. So you just never know how to really gauge the vampire stuff. Like, do you go super far? Do you keep it really close or like keep it very child friendly? Do you wear the fake vampire teeth? Do you pass out fake vampire? How far do you really go with this decor? But if you're going to do it, you should, you know what? You shouldn't dress up as the vampire. You should dress up as vampire hunters. And then the people that come, the kids or the people that come to your house, they should be like, quote unquote, you don't know if they're the vampires. So you should have like wooden stakes at the front of your house. You should have like, is it garlic or onions or something? It's something that, some sort of stereotype that keeps away vampires or whatever. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, I think would be a really funny idea. Obviously, some blood would be required. You know what I mean? But again, you have to play it safe. You don't know what it's going to be. But then there's also werewolves. Werewolf decoration is a little bit, I guess it really depends. I don't know if you could do like a whole theme off of werewolves, because the whole idea is that they transform when the moon comes out. So you would have like a one-time bit to like transform into a werewolf, unless you like wear a mask or whatever. And I don't know, what else do werewolves do? Like everybody has like their thing, right? But the werewolves thing is that they just transform. So once they're a werewolf, like what's the lore behind the werewolf? Like what do they, I guess you could have like obviously fangs and maybe some fake werewolves at the front of your house or something, or like a little wolf howling at the moon. I don't know. It's very, very difficult for that one, but I'm sure there's a way to do it. I'm just not. What if you did it like okay. So you get like, you rent some puppies for Halloween, and then you kind of like, make it like a werewolf puppy, cute little retreat kind of thing. The people come by for Halloween, they get some candy, they pet the puppy. They can't take the puppy obviously because you're only renting them and borrowing them for a little bit, but maybe if they're up for adoption, that could be a good way to like promote your business. Do like a little werewolf puppy Halloween meet, something like that. But decorating wise for werewolves is a little bit like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like, maybe if you did like scratch marks on the way to your door or on your actual door or whatever, I don't know. You'd have to dress up as a werewolf for it to work. There's also monsters, so everybody does like Frankenstein or some sort of like, just some sort of monster. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It can be like, you could do like Monsters Incorporated. You could come up with your own monster and you could like dress up however you want or whatever. Something like that. Yeah, but the monsters are a little bit like, I don't even want to say they're like difficult to like do, but at some point they just start becoming abstract. You don't know like where they fit or what they're doing. So monsters for decorating, maybe keep it like on the cute side, not so much on the scary side. Or maybe a mix of both. I don't know. But I think stickers would work. Lights would definitely help out with monsters. And obviously your costume would have to match the theme. Aliens is a lot easier. Aliens, you could definitely do aliens. Like, that's no big deal. It's just a matter of like, okay, what does the alien look like? So I say, if you're gonna decorate, pick out, if you want to decorate alien themed, definitely beforehand figure out what kind of costume you're gonna wear. If you're wearing like the typical, like the green head and the black eye kind of like alien, then you're gonna have to stick to like kind of like a green kind of background, if that makes sense. Like, it's gonna have to, green is gonna be the primary color of this whole theme. It's gonna be like the go-to, and then figuring out other colors that match it, like green and purple make a good match. Green goes well with all the colors, really. So, you never know. But aliens, you could have like UFOs. You could put like fake aliens at the front. You could do like a big like punch bowl with dry ice and it's like alien brains or whatever. You could do, obviously you dress up as an alien. You could have like bright flashing lights, like your house is a UFO, stuff like that. I think that's a great idea. Aliens is pretty easy. It's just about like, what do the aliens like look like and how are you going to do it? You know what I'm saying? And maybe you could do like like a wallpaper inside of your window so it looks like there's aliens inside, right? Like, that'd be cool. And again, you can never tell with Halloween or these days, because you don't know what's going to get you in trouble and what's going to be like, everybody gets it. Everybody's going to be like, oh, that's cool. That's a good idea, right? Because some kids is like, they don't really care. And then other kids are like really young. So you're like, oh, maybe we should have done something like a lot cuter or a lot nicer this year. You know what I mean? So do you keep it kid friendly or do you go for like a cool kind of a feel to it? I guess it's trying to find that good balance between like, okay, like the kids will like it, but you don't know, the kids will like it, but you have no idea if like, it's kind of what like what the mood should be for the night. You know what I'm saying? So you have to put those factors into your mind, right? It's like, it can't be too scary because the kids will come by and then I'll traumatize them for the rest of their lives. I'll scare them from Halloween. And then like maybe the parents will get upset at me. Like, it just doesn't work. Whereas, imagine you do it too friendly and now you're kind of like sitting there like, man, I wish I had kind of done what I wanted. I had pushed the boundaries a little bit to see how far I can really go. Because that's the thing, right? I guess that's the rule. You can go as far as you can, as far as you want to, and then if it needs to be dialed down, you can dial it down. You know what I mean? Go all out, and then if it needs to be toned down, tone it down. Because you can't tone up, right? You can't, once the volume is already set, you can't raise the volume on it. You know what I mean? Because it would take too much time to redecorate everything. You have to decorate hardcore at the beginning, and then you could just like, okay, let's turn it down, for the kids, and then, everything's a lot cooler that way. But like I said, you can decorate however you want. You could even decorate with all of the things I just listed. So you could do like a ghost, zombie, vampire, werewolf, alien, monster, skeleton kind of a house for people to come by. And quite frankly, I think that will give you the best variety, I'm just saying for myself, I think that when it's all over the place, you're just like, oh snap, I wish, it was the vampire we did, or I wanted to do the werewolf, but maybe that makes it easier. I have no idea. But I remember getting decorations, and I was just like, I was, getting stickers, some lights, some bowls, like, how they have those stickers for the windows that are like Halloween themed. They have like some of those battery lights that light up when you push a button or whatever. You put some batteries in there or whatever. And then they have those plug-in inflatables and stuff like that. And I was like, it doesn't seem like that much stuff. And then once you go to pay, it's like however many dollars, and you're just like, wow, I was not expecting that. It was super cheap when I got it, but like I got a whole bunch of it. I didn't think it would be that crazy, but it's actually like, Halloween is definitely big business, and they get you because they make the stuff cool, and you want to make your Halloween experience cool. You want people to be like, that's a cool house. So you splurge a little bit, and that's how they get you. But I mean, I guess, And sometimes they don't even, sometimes they have some stuff, but then they don't have like anything that you're looking for. So then you're kind of like having to settle for maybe some subpar stuff. And you're just like, man, I wish they had this, or I wish I had that at the store. Because when you have to go on Amazon, then you have to wait for the package to arrive. And then the house isn't actually fully decorated yet. So now you're in this whole rush to like, all right, so if I order it now, it'll come in like a week later, or, hopefully you have Prime, so it'll come in the next day. You don't know. You just don't know. But a way to kind of avoid spending that kind of money, I guess, is to make your own decorations. So if you're doing if you're doing a ghost decor for Halloween, then you just maybe ball up a bunch of paper, and then you tie like a rubber band around it with a white sheet blanket, and you make like this big balloon head, and then you draw, or you put like black eyes on it, and you make it look like a big ghost or whatever, and then you hang it outside, like stuff like that. You could definitely make stuff your own, and people who make stuff their own typically hold on to it a lot easier. I just don't know. It would depend on how big certain things are. Because if it's really big, then you have to put it together, and then you have to take it apart, and hopefully nothing breaks. So, yeah, you just never know. There's also lights. You definitely have to consider the lights. Lights are the biggest thing during this time of the year because, it's not really... if you can't see anything, it doesn't matter. If it lights up, everybody can see it because it's dark outside. So it's the brilliant time to really work on your lighting and your effects and stuff. So I saw a video of this couple or this family had put up these lights inside their house, and these lights make it look from the outside that their house is on fire. And then the neighbors called the police. They were like, our neighbor's house is on fire. And then they came by and they were like, oh, no, there's no fire. Those are just our Halloween lights. And the cops are like, ha, 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 brilliant. You know, they're just kind of like, I don't know why I did that, but they're just kind of like, oh, that's cool. That's like, you guys are you know what I mean? And then people were commenting like, they won at Halloween. That's how you do it. Like, I need to get those lights. Like, that's a brilliant idea. I like it. So, you know, that's one way of doing it. But you also have to be careful with the lights, because flashing lights, if there's a kid that's like, I don't know, that can like tremble from it, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be like shaking and they're going to be freaking out, you know, because the strobe light just keeps on flashing in their face. So you have to be careful with that as well. And, you know, just like I was saying before, like the inflatable kind of front of the house decor that fits in there, like that works. And then neon lights definitely help. So that definitely helps it to work its best. And then there's certain props you can use, and by props I mean like if you're doing the skeleton one, you have like fake bones lying around, or like you don't know if there's certain bones, like the plastic of it, or like where to put it, or like how you arrange them and stuff like that. If you're doing the vampire, I said the fake blood, and how much fake blood do you use? You don't want to make too much of a mess, but if you do end up making a mess, might as well go all the way with it. There are certain special effects, like I was talking about with the lights, with the fire in there. With the fog machine, if you have like a fog machine and you kind of want to make your house look sort of like spooky or like misty, you have like a fog machine, because I have a fog machine and I'm planning on using it. So, but you have to be careful. Again, it's all about the kids. You have to be careful for the kids, right? You can't just put a huge big puff of smoke out there and then they all start coughing and they're like, you know. You have to do it the right way, and you have to do it like small little bursts, so that way it looks cool, but it doesn't like consume the whole house, I guess, or the whole area. And then be careful with like weapons. Like if you have like a fake knife or like a gun, like just chill with those things. Like, unless, of course, you're a ninja. But you could just use, like, nunchucks or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't have to, like, do anything with them. I'm just saying, be careful with those things, all right? You don't know who you could hurt. But I'm under the impression that they're just for show. You know what I mean? They're not actually going to be used to fight or anything, you know? So, in conclusion, I mean, what else is there? What have we learned throughout all these years of Halloween? Like 2020 Halloween, what did we learn from that, all right? Is that decoration is key, is very, very key. And it's how you present the house that gets people talking. Because in 2020, nobody could go to everybody's house. A lot of people didn't even go out for Halloween to trick or treat. People just bought candy and then just sat inside. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on there? And also, who made Halloween on Tuesday? Like last year, I was like, it was on Monday. Now it's on Tuesday. Like, come on, can we get it on the weekend? Like, Halloween should definitely be on a Saturday, because then you have all of Sunday to recover. And then Monday you go back to work. But no, they do it in the middle of the week. Okay, so they do it right there, like just at the start. Not even the start. They give you a boring Monday, like the anticipation for it, right, on that Monday. And then the actual day is on that Tuesday. And then the next day you have to go into work on a Wednesday. And now you're all out of whack. And then on Thursday you have to go back again. And then Friday comes and you're like, finally, it's the weekend again. But it's not like a good weekend. It's like, oh, it was a Halloween weekend and I didn't get a chance to recover and really party. But now that the Halloween theme is over, like, what's going on? It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But essentially, when you're decorating for Halloween, when you're Halloween decorating, my fault. You can do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. I kind of told you like, oh, you should stick to one theme. Don't listen to me. All right, do whatever you want to do. Okay, if you want to make it like a whole hybrid of all the different scary themes and whatnot, you go and do that. If you want to make like a big like, I don't know, like if you want to do like a whole Michael Jackson Thriller kind of thing with your house, go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Nobody's stopping you. I'm not stopping you. Just make it cool. Just make it awesome. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Make it scary and make it awesome. And yeah, that's all I got to say. When you're Halloween decorating, just make it scary and make it cool. Make it very, very cool. And that's about it. That's all you got to do. And whatever it takes to get there, go out there and make it, buy it, work with what you got. Just try to enjoy your Halloween experience. So that's all. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys all next time. Thank you.